Good evening, everyone. I now formally call the November meeting of Leeton Shire Council to order, the time being 6:33. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all councillors, staff and members of the community. Very busy, I suppose. Online, right? Both in the gallery and join us online. Thank you for your attendance this evening. In keeping with our commitment to our open, accessible and transparent government, this meeting of the Leeton Shire Council is being streamed live on council social media channels. The recording will also be made available on the council website following the meeting. Now I invite you all to stand as Councillor Mason will lead us in civic prayer, followed by Councillor Wright with the acknowledgement to country.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Leeton Shire Council acknowledges the Wiradjuri people and their continued impact on our community. We acknowledge their connection to the land, water and sky. We acknowledge all Aboriginal people who have made Leeton Shire their home. As such, we pay our respects to all Aboriginal elders, past, present and emerging of our Shire.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Are there any apologies tonight, GM?
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, we have two councillors online, one of whom is Councillor Michael Kidd and the other is not. Councillor Tiffin doesn't appear to be on yet, but has signalled that she will be joining online, so perhaps she could be an apology for lateness.
We're on there before, but maybe it's cut out. I thought I saw her name there like a few minutes ago.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
The next item is the confirmation of the minutes from the Tuesday, the 29th of October, 2024. Is anyone prepared to confirm the minutes? Moved by Councillor Edwards, second by Councillor Tyner. Thank you. Put the motion. All right.
Aye.
Any dissent? Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, do you mind if I just, while it wasn't a minute matter, at the last council meeting, just because it was videoed and it's on public record, I'd just like to advise that there was a misstatement at the meeting where, following a question from one of the councillors, council was advised that there had been 6 weeks' notice to the Eisteddfod about the potential of the event not going ahead. In actual fact, it was 2 weeks. Eisteddfod has been advised of this misstatement and the apology has been given to them as well. Thank you.
Thank you, General Manager. Thank you. Right. As there's no late items, we will now move to item 6, disclosure of interest.
We skipped section 5, which is procedural motions. I had items to say. So, Mr. Mayor, in accordance with clause 9.3 of the Code of Meeting Practice, I propose the following procedural motion that the Council accepts the following business be considered in the meeting.
I'll take some advice on that.
Now,
Not aware of it. It is.
Or do you want to clarify? Should I keep going?
I just like to clarify.
What is the nature of the procedural motion?
That a financial investment analyst be engaged by the Roxy Redevelopment Committee to formulate a business case for the future of the Roxy. Mr. Mayor, this should be ruled as urgent because the current business model is inadequate. As assumptions that are not
Mr. Mayor, it needs to be a notice of motion, not a procedural. Procedural motion is about technical stuff. This is council is referring to a notice of motion. The notice of motion needs to come 10 days before the council meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Point of order. I understand under the Code of Meeting Practice that councillors can submit business without a notice of motion. Or am I incorrect?
That is incorrect.
Am I reading the motion?
That is incorrect.
I'm taking the advice.
Yeah.
Business may be considered a meeting of the council even though due notice of the business has not been given to the councillors.
Correct.
A motion is passed at the business.
It would be emergency matters. It would be matters of emergency, or the mayor has notices of motion.
But sorry, just to clarify, if it's councillors declaring, believing it's an urgent motion, shouldn't we be listening to it, or is section 9.3, 9.4, 9.5 only?
Councillor Edwards, I'll take advice from the general manager in that case. And I'll
But I just wanted to clarify.
expert on this, so I'll take advice that can that be amended next time to the next meeting. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I'll just carry on with the disclosure of interest. Is there any disclosure of interest to be cleared this evening? Table. First, Councillor.
Do I stand up? Do I need to stand up?
Yep,
Sorry.
Yep. The mic, please.
Yeah. Oh, it's not turning on. Is it on? I'm gonna have to just keep it 1 second.
I've got a hand up.
It's very.
Councillor Keith.
Can I just have a look?
Councillor.
I think I've got to keep my hand on it. There we go. Is that better? I declare a significant non-pecuniary conflict of interest in regards to agenda item 8.3.2. As I am a committee member of the Leeton Shire Society, the Show Society chooses members to sit on the showground land manageries. The grant application in question being applied for is a building which is primarily used by, which is only really used by the Leeton Shire Society. So,
Thank you. I noticed Councillor Kidd's hand up. Councillor Kidd, did you want to say something?
Yes, that's correct, Councillor Weston. Thank you very much for that. I would like to lodge a non-pecuniary conflict of interest on the community strengthening grants round 1, item 8.3.3. And I have an association with the Creative Connection Riverina Association, if that could be logged, and I intend not to vote on that issue.
Thank you, Councillor Kidd. My apologies, Councillor Wright. I see I thought he was going to say. Councillor Wright.
Just point of order, do I need to also say the same thing if I'm not going to vote on the motion?
You should actually mention.
If you've
So I just want to.
said it's significant, then that
Okay, then that's it. Okay, sorry.
bolts away, yeah.
I think it's on. It looks like it's on. Oh, no, you're right. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to declare a less than significant non-pecuniary conflict of interest on an item 8.3.3. I'm a general member of the Leeton Rainbow Pride Collective, but I won't vote on it because I am close friends with the people on the executive. I also have a significant non-pecuniary conflict of interest on another item in 8.3.3, the community strengthening grants for the Rotary Club of Leeton. I'm also a member, and yeah, I'm involved in the financial matters of the club, so I won't be voting on either matter, but I will stay in the room for the Leeton Rainbow Pride discussion, if that's okay.
Thank you very much. Councillor Maitland.
Oh, apologies. I was just having trouble bringing up the agenda on my iPad. It was working previously and it just, some of the pages weren't there. So I'm going to have to go to maybe the council website if there's a paper copy available tonight.
I've got one on here.
Actually, there's one down.
I've got one on here for it.
It just kind of had some of the pages and then some of. I don't know if it's a loading up issue or something.
Why are you taking 2 seconds? I'm much around the table. Councillor Tyner.
Thank you.
I didn't know. All right. So are you okay, Councillor Maitland?
Yes, I am.
I also declare an interest. I'm on the board of Rotary, and in item 8.3.3 community grants, I'm going to, I believe it's significant non-pecuniary conflict of interest, required action, immediately make a declaration. I will not stay in the chamber and I will leave the chamber for that duration. And I think, Councillor, what we might do when we do come to that particular item, there's about 7 items. We might change chairs and go in and out when we come to that item. All happy with that? All right, we might move on then. The next one is the mayoral minute. The next item is number 9, mayoral minutes. As mayor, I recommend that the mayoral alliance for the Pacific position paper on the re-imaging of palm scheme to be noted and endorsed. Does anyone have any questions or thoughts, comments that would like to raise the matter? Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to congratulate you and the other councillors on a really well-written and well thought out plan. I only hope that higher levels of government heed your message. I thought it was very well targeted towards the problems that surround the palm scheme that we've all known about for many years now, especially if we're involved in the multicultural community. So yes, congratulations.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Yes, look, it actually started off here in Leeton, and a former mayor, Mayton, was behind this, and our own staff, and we've got a good listening. We've got about 20 mayors around Australia, Mount Isa, Western Australia, all in the same position as us, as having the palm scheme. We all believe it's a great scheme, just that we have a few people disengaged from this scheme, and we want federal government, state government to come to the party and help us and resource, and it's beneficial for all of us. So I thank you very much if you can endorse that. Do I need a second for that?
No, you just need to put the motion though.
I put the motion, all in favour? All right, those against? Thank you. All right, I'll turn it back on. I might use this all the time. The noise. This noise? Okay, right. We now move to item 8.1.1, the state of the Shire reports. It is the beginning of recommendation that council notes for information that the status update on the state of the Shire report 2021 to 2024. It starts on page 10 of the agenda. Can I call for a mover and a seconder, the recommendation from staff? I have a mover, Councillor Wright, second by Councillor Nardi. Thank you. Any discussion? Before we discuss any further, can the GM please provide some context to this report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just put mine on as well. I'd like to acknowledge Monica Armanini, who is sitting next to Terry at the back, who put an awful lot of effort in pulling this report together. Just by way of background, would like to remind councillors that this is a report on how the community is progressing with the community strategic plan. So every term of council, a new community strategic plan is developed, which is not a council report. It's a report that council stewards on behalf of the community to find out how the community is feeling about everything to do with living in Leeton, and then what they think needs to be improved and strategies to get there. This State of the Shire report is done towards the end of every council term, but it's presented to the new council as an update of how things are progressing. And you'll see from this report that the activities listed don't just relate to council, they very much relate to various government departments and community groups that do an awful lot of work to make our Shire extremely livable. Also in this report is a list of graphs, because we don't just want to say as a community that we do a whole lot of stuff. We also want to know that it's making a difference and that we're better off. So what we're endeavouring to do with tracking these graphs that have been identified in previous terms is how we are trending in the things that people think are important. Now, we can't collect every graph on everything that everyone thinks is important, so we find, I suppose, indicator graphs that might represent a few things, and then that's also collected in this document based on information that we can reliable information that we can glean from other public sources. For example, Canberra University does the wellbeing strategy every year. We also have other ABARES updates, and we have, of course, our own Micromex community survey, which gives a lot of perceptions as well. So thanks, Mr. Mayor, for that opportunity. I just wanted to make it clear it's a report on behalf of the community about where progress is being made, and it will be the starting point of the new CSP, which is being pulled together at the moment and will come to council in December.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you, General Manager. Now we're having a move in a second. Any other discussion? There'll be no further discussion. I put the motion.
Sorry,
Those four.
Oh, no, Mr. Mayor, I was moving.
Quite good.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, we all get there. Those for? Those against? Thank you. Good. I can see Councillor Tiffin's with us. Councillor Kidd with us as well. Thank you. Thank you. For our next item is the Leeton Shire Council Annual Report 2024. The report starts on page 96 of the agenda. It has been recommended that Council adopts the Leeton Shire Council Annual Report 2023-2024. Authorise the General Manager to make minor corrections if required. Notes the Leeton Shire Council Annual Report 2024 will be uploaded to the Leeton Shire website prior and be provided to the Minister of Local Government. Can I call, before I call for a move, I'll call for a move in a second first. Move on. Councillor Tyne, moved by Councillor, second by Councillor Morris. GM, would you like to say something first on this one?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Yes, this is now fully a council report about council activity and council performance over the last financial year. Again, acknowledging the work of staff member Sarah Collis, Sarah Stewart nowadays, who's put in a lot of effort to pulling this report together, and noting that it's really very closely associated with the budget, with the end of year financials that you adopted last month. And it also has to have combined with it the community strategic plan, well, the State of the Shire report that you've just endorsed a few minutes ago. So this annual report reflects all the activities that have been undertaken by council during the year. It has a whole lot of statutory information that is required to be reported under the Local Government Act, and particularly in regards to the performance of our actions on page 185 of the agenda, or 85 of the report. You can see those are the only things in the year that didn't quite get achieved or finished. I won't particularly focus on any of the amber ones, but let me know if you'd like me to talk to them. Of course, there's the red one, which is our long-term financial sustainability as a council. That wasn't resolved by the end of the financial year, and the Sporting Walk of Fame and shoulder widening were not progressed during the year. But I'm happy to take any questions, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions of the GM? Any questions of the GM? We have a
sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Morris.
I can't reach my mic, but I'll speak loudly if that's all right. Look, I think congratulations on the year. You often think when you sit here what's been going on for the year, but when you look at the magnitude of and diversity of what council covers, we're never going to get it 100% right, but everyone here does their best and to the best of our ability, and so we have achieved quite a lot. I just feel there might be a typo on page 161, and I just need clarification, the General Manager, just in case.
What page on the actual report?
Page 61.
Yep, thank you.
Did you say 161?
161 in the agenda. Just to prove I do read it all. Just on its functional area for economic development, it's just on the right-hand column. In 2023-24, Council took the following key actions to deliver on its commitments. Just the second dot point, we've got Vance Estate Stage 3 in June 2024 with an expected completion date of February 24.
Oops. Yes, that should be 25. Thank you.
Thanks, No, that is a lot better. I'm not saying there isn't. Still working on it, so that probably just needs revising. But again, just wrapping up, you know, another indication of a very busy year and diversity of our community. And congratulations to the staff and all, because these are extra pieces of work that need to be pulled together in a very short time frame. So very much appreciated. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Any other questions, Councillor White?
I'd just like to second councillor Morris's congratulations to the staff on a job well done.
Very much, Councillor Wright. Anyone like to speak? Councillor Nardi?
Thank you. Just on note on page 186 of the agenda, where we've got the 4.4.2 continue CBD facade painting in Leeton. It's something that I have brought up previously. Just wanted to know if anyone could shed some light on, did we end up getting some business houses take that option up in the main streets of Leeton for this next round, or are we do we still have some spare funding for that we could potentially move that to surrounding villages, i.e. Murray, Whitton and Yanko?
I'll direct message to General Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So during the year, there were no further efforts made to call. We used our normal heritage grants, but we didn't actually do anything with the Main Street CBD funding. The money that's left in the coffers, though, it gets tricky because the arrangement that we had was that the businesses that participate, or the property owners that participated, they paid 50% or 60% of the costs, or 40%, and the rest, what they paid came into a bucket to go to the rest of the businesses in the Leeton CBD. So it was particularly focused on the Leeton CBD, but it doesn't mean that council in its next delivery program can, you know, you might wish to talk about doing things in some of the smaller villages and setting aside some funds for that. But this was money that was effectively grant funded, and it was, yes, we spent all the grant money, but we got people to contribute, and we put that in a ring-fenced account that we can't spend on anything else, and it's specifically for the Leeton CBD.
Yeah, that's fine. That was just something I have. Thank you, Miss Mayor. That was just something that I just wanted to consider, because the surrounding villages do make up Leeton. I do know that it was CBD, but the option was to have the opportunity for those surrounding villages to have a bit of a refurb effect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Nardi. Thank you. Now, we're going to move in a seconder. We've had some discussion or some quick comments. If there's no further discussion, I'd like to put the motion. All in favour? Vote against? Thank you very much. Moving on to the next part, 8.113, Minister of the Country Mayors Association. Now, this is the 9th of August. This is the previous Mayor, Tony Redeker, went to. And I'd like to see if anybody would like to move, second this report with Councillor Tyler. Thank my Councillor Mayor. Thank you. Look, I went to my first one the other day, but I'll probably talk more about that at the time. But this is a very good forum for us to get to talk to those ministers. And previously, we had more country and more city people. We had different associations. They came together. I believe our voice is not as strong in the country. The country mayors is sort of taken over that part. So we have more of a voice from the country mayors. So thank you. I had a move in a seconder. Any discussion, any questions?
Just a question for you, Mr. Mayor. Just wondering why it took so long for the minutes to be put forth towards council to.
I'll just pass on to the General Manager. What's that long?
Through Mr. Mayor, the minutes get endorsed at the next meeting, which was 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
So it's come to council now.
No, I just clarify that. Yeah, thank you so much, Manager.
Any more questions? That one? I'm going to move in a seconder. So, I'd like questions. Those against? Thank you very much. Moving on to the next one, which is the minutes of the Ramjo meeting, 16th of August, 2024. Once again, this is the previous Mayor attended and same answer as to Councillor Edmonds. It's been recommended that council notes the information for the minutes of Ramjo meeting held on Friday, 6th of August. Can I call for a move and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Morris, seconded by discretion head, Mr. Councillor Wright. Councillor Tyler, thank you very much. Right, any discussions or any questions of the young lady? No?
Can I just ask a question?
All right, I'll just first with Councillor Morris, then Councillor Tiffin. Councillor Morris?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Oh, I'm sorry, I will try and talk into this. I do notice that even though we're one of the 9 or 10 member councils, all those current strategic regional priorities seem to be very relevant to our shire. I was just wondering, is there any update on getting real momentum, especially probably with water security, which is always my passion and the lifeblood of our region. So from this, I guess from what I'm asking from this forum, is there representation then that is able to be taken to government as something like water security with some extra negotiation?
Thank you for the questions, Councillor Morris, because we have an answer for you as well. I'll put you through the General Manager, who's now the chair of the subcommittee of Ramjo of Water.
Through you, Mr Mayor, and I beg your pardon if I didn't get the full question, Councillor Morris, but we, as Ramjo, there's a three-pronged focus at this point in time. The one is, of course, to continue with our fight against water buybacks. That remains on the cards. The second one is to make sure that the sustainable communities funding that the government's going to be releasing is spent on impacted communities and not spent anywhere else. And then the third one is to challenge the government's rhetoric that the river's dying and everything's dying, because there's an awful lot of good news stories through what the Commonwealth Environmental Water Holder and even state DPI is doing. And we need to make sure that those messages that are coming out from government, keeping in mind they spend 12 million on a propaganda campaign to give that message, and we need to try and balance that. So those are going to be those are currently the three areas of focus. Another one that emerged at our meeting just over a week ago, maybe it's 2 weeks ago now, is the Restoring Our Rivers, the program for reconnecting rivers, where we're seeing low-level flooding of farmland along rivers so that they can run the river higher. And of course, they're offering landholders very minimal compensation for effectively what could be the loss of that land. So that's become a new one that we need to focus on. And blazing a trail to both the state and federal government is going to be vitally important. So we'll keep on with that. Did I hit the mark with the actual question?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it was a bit of a statement of the question, but yes, it was more an update.
Yep.
To make sure someone's listening.
Yep.
And yes, it is a battle. The government seems to be just issuing things from many different fronts at the moment. I'm not sure the right hand's always talking to the left. So. And they keep talking about engagement and consultation and co-design, but I can say hand on heart, those are all disingenuous words from them at the moment. So, which is very unfortunate. Yes. And I do believe that we can't afford to just sit back. We have to be out there doing our best to put it forward. And Ramjo's the obvious one with so many member councils behind it. So, and congratulations on your water portfolio.
Through you, Mr Mayor.
And I also just like to add, I have to go to Councillor Tiffin just after this, but now come back to Councillor.
Add me, please.
All right. I'd just like to add to also at the local government conference in Tamworth, our motion in regard to buybacks and also to have some concentration had debate. And it was about 75 to 25 in favour. People backed us of the council. There's a bit of consultation on what goes on, which is great. Thank you. Councillor Tiffin, you had a question.
Can you hear me through these headphones? Because I don't know if they're working.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Lucky you guys. Just listening to Jackie then, how do we feed the fight from Ramjo up? Is that through Murray-Darling Basin or is it? Is it
Through
or-
Mr. Mayor, we use a a multi-pronged approach.
Yep.
So at the state level, we're working with Minister Rose Jackson, who's the water minister.
Mm.
We've met with her several times. We've also met with Minister Tara Moriarty, who's the Minister for Regional New South Wales.
Yep.
So that's at the state level where we've asked them to support us to really get to grips with the socio-economic impact that's going to be heading our way when water purchases are actually completed, because they are targeting the Southern Basin. At the federal level, we're meeting mainly with Minister Tanya Plibersek, and we're doing that. We've been most active doing that through the Murray-Darling Association. In terms of the MDBA, we don't do much advocacy through the MDBA, but rather get information from the MDBA. They're, of course, independent of government in theory. So it's the Department of Climate Change, Environment and Water that is actually driving most of the policy decisions, not the MDBA. They've got the ultimate goal in mind, but the action steps for getting there has been driven by the federal government department, not the MDBA.
Thank you. The other question I had, Mr. Mayor, was just before we go to the next item, each time, can you give us time to find it? Because I'm very slow tonight.
What I'll do, Councillor Tiffany, is I'll give you the page number.
Oh, yes, thank you, sorry.
Okay, I apologise for having not been doing that. Councillor Wright.
I'd just like to ask through you, Mr. Mayor, to the General Manager. General Manager, can you talk about a $12 million campaign that's pro-water buybacks and the other actions that are being proposed through the federal departments? Given the number of councils that exist and that are affected by it, is there any plan or talk of combining our strength monetarily to create a campaign that's as somewhat in the same league in terms of funding? Because it wouldn't be an enormous contribution per council. So would it be something around $60,000 or $70,000 each if we were all to put in?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there's definitely talk of a campaign, but it's at a much smaller amount of money. But we do agree 1,000% that having a united voice and solidarity is key. And it might be that even we haven't got to the point yet of formulating exactly what it looks like or what it'll cost. But if we did, we might see if we can find some parties outside of council with deep pockets who could maybe combine with us. So it's not just councils, but maybe private business as well.
And to follow up, Mr. Mayor, through you, what do you know what that $12 million is being spent on in terms of the propaganda? I mean, are we talking media engagements and things, or are we talking behind the scenes influence?
It's that television campaign. I don't know if you remember seeing it on TV, and it says it's from the Australian government, of basically a river drying up and there's like a dead tree that's filmed in Argentina. Television.
Oh, I don't watch live TV, so I haven't seen it.
Yes, so it was a television campaign.
All right, I'll look it up. Thank you.
And it wasn't so much about well, I suppose it was giving people the reason why we have to have buybacks is because the river's drying and nature's dying, kind of stuff. Yep.
Sounds very melodramatic.
Very. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Yes, at the conference, there was some passion behind it and some emotion behind it, but some of our country friends, some of our city friends don't understand what happens out here.
Okay.
Is that okay? Did we move past that? Did we? Probably not. Just discussion. All right. So I had to move in a second. So we had discussion. Is any I'll put the motion for. Those against? Next one is on page 229 of Councillor Tiffin. And it's corporate matters, investment report. Moving on to corporate matters, our next item, 8.2.1, is the investment report for October 2024 on page 229. It's been recommended that council notes the information contained in the investment report for October 2024. Now call for a move and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Wright, second by Councillor Morris. Any discussion on this investment report? Councillor Edwards.
I just want to ask a general question for you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to understand the process of how the report is made and how that's verified before it's put towards councils. Like who verifies it, how's that report made up?
I referred to the manager, you might refer to.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report is signed by the Chief Financial Officer of Council, who's our Director of Corporate, Avi Singh. So yes, and Avi can give us a bit of detail about how it's verified.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor. So every month, the accountant prepares the report, then the manager of finance checks it, and then it comes to the director of corporate for checking. So we have like a double layer of checking before it comes to council. And we have the full backing and the reconciliations behind it. Yes.
And just a follow-up question for you, Mr. Bear. Does Eric get to see this as well, or is it just council to see this budget update?
We'll go back to the general manager.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, investment reports are not individually given to Eric. They just get the consolidated figure at the end of the financial year of the investment results.
Councillor Edwards, any more questions?
Not at the moment, thank you.
I haven't moved a seconder. We've had a discussion on this. I'd like to put the motion. All those for, right? All those against? Thank you very much. Right, moving on to the next item, which is on page 242. I'll just put mine in here as well. 242. There we go. Right, it's the budget review for the quarter ending 1st September.
Right.
And I'd like to have a move and a seconder, please. Move to Councillor Tynan, second by Councillor Morris. Thank you. Before we discuss the report, can I ask the Director of Corporate to give Council a quick overview?
Yeah, for you, Mr. Mayor. So the management went through the QBR exercise for the first quarter, the September quarter. So especially in the first quarter, we have to take care of the carryovers, which are coming from the last financial year. So we adjusted those. So the combination of adjustments for the carryovers and also the new depreciation, plus some, so CapEx as well as OpEx in the carryovers. Some new grant revenue that we recognized, which is coming from the unspent grants from last year's. And then, of course, I'm just flicking to the pages, just give me a second.
A few pages.
Right behind. Yeah, so the main things that changed in this quarter was, as I said, the carryovers. Then we had the loan drawdowns that we did for the ROPSI, Vans, and LELC. So, and then adjusted the depreciation for the quarter, which when we originally budgeted for 24-25, we didn't have the revals in there. So our depreciation was not fully up to the asset values. So post the end of financial year, we had to adjust those. So we basically incurred an extra expenditure of 650,000 on the depreciation. So all those adjustments have led to our operating deficit deteriorating compared to the original budget. But the good thing is our unrestricted cash position has improved. And that's because of our loan drawdowns for around $10 million. So before these drawdowns, of course, general fund was bearing all the brunt, and we had to spend money from there for the capex. But now with the loan drawdowns, cash is available now to spend on capex. So yeah, so unrestricted cash position as a forecast has improved, but long term we still believe there is a concern in the general fund, which we have been saying for a long time.
Are you sure?
First of all, thank you very much, Director. There was a hand up from Councillor Wright.
I just wanted to know.
A question, is it?
Yes, a question through you, Mr. Mayor, to the Director. Can I ask, the money that was spent out of the general fund when we didn't have the capex funding on capex, is that being refunded to the general fund through the loan drawdowns?
Yes, yes. So it's all a pool that we have, in terms of where the money is sitting. Yes, it is. It's refunded. So general fund is a pool where we use, yeah.
So the capex is always out of the general fund for this is what we were spending it on.
Depends on for which fund it relates. So if it's a water thing, of course it comes from the water fund. If it's a sewage thing, it comes from sewer.
Right. So it's only the sewage and water that are separate.
That's right, yeah.
My mistake. Thank you.
And waste.
And waste.
Okay, Councillor Wright. Was there any other hand up? Yes, Councillor Tom.
Yeah, I have just two questions. On page 245, just referring to the 3.46 million projected or the forecast cash position, that hasn't been earmarked for any other uses, has it?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, yes, it will be, because it's anticipating a FAGS grant to be prepaid, which then needs to be used for the next financial year. But I'll just ask the financial gurus in the room to either confirm or correct that. So
3.46 million, that's actually a net effect of everything. So that includes your carryovers, your depreciation, everything, the loan drawdowns. So there is a loan drawdown which is earmarked for basically Roxy, Vans and LELC. So yes, some of it will be used, some purposes. But this is just a net result of 3.46 here.
Through the Mayor to the corporate, what sort of percentage?
I'll have to come back on that. I can't, being a numbers man, I don't want to just throw the numbers out of the air.
There'll be a question.
I can come back on that, yeah.
The second question, if you go to page 269, the agenda minutes, you will see table. And on that table, I refer to the bottom two entries here in the Vance estate. Says that the final payment date is the 31st of August 2006, which is a little under 2 years away. And the way I read that is that in little under 2 years, Leeton Shire Council is going to cough up near on $10 million in terms of final payment. And to me.
Yeah, I can explain that through you, Mr. Mayor. So our intention for the loans for Roxy is 20 years, amortized over 20 years. But the way we negotiated with the bank, because there is a big possibility that interest rates will go down. So we have done a deal with the bank that initially will take a 2-year interest rate loan on a fixed basis, but they've given the amortization based on 20 years. So that's why it's just showing you the original date when that fixed rate expires. But before that, we're going to renegotiate the interest rates because we have a very big possibility the interest rates will go down. And it was purposely done because the variable rate will go down for that.
Okay, Councillor Tom, good. Councillor Edwards.
For you, Mr. Mayor, just a clarifying question. I think it's going to be the same as my previous question. Is it a similar process for verification of the numbers with the quarterly budget report? Or is there a different process completely for verification of the numbers?
I'll refer to the gentleman and then we might refer to the
through you, Mr. Mayor, that's exactly the process that's run at the moment. Is different people in the organisation pull the information together. It then gets consolidated. We've had particular help this round from STC to bring it together. They've also used the opportunity to train our new staff on how to do quarterly budget review. And then as Chief Financial Officer, Avi has a look overall. I also have a look. I don't quite have the depth of skill that he has, but I am able to ask some questions around certain numbers. But yes, it's the same process.
And may I ask, you just said, is it STC? Who's this external?
Yeah, so that's Mark, who's online, that you've met at several other meetings. They've been supporting us probably for close to a year. Well, is it 8 months now? I can't remember. Time flies. But when we lost our previous finance manager, we had 2 locums, but it didn't work very well with locums. So we got in the services of STC, and they've been helping us to get set up. And
STC or SVC?
T.
TC.
Yeah, yeah.
Councillor Edwards, Councillor Tiffin, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, Mr. Mayor, I just want to acknowledge that I don't fully understand these reports because I don't have a money background. And I'd love it one day if Avi has time to like sit down and explain in more detail. I just wanted to raise that it's quite complicated to get across when you're not used to it. So it's all still learning, but one day we could sort of do a tutorial maybe.
Councillor Tiffin, also local office of local government have courses as well that you can do. You're online, and I do understand when you first come on to council, it is a bit of a minefield, that's for sure.
Yeah, just and obviously I support the work and vote in trust, but yeah, I'd like to learn more as we go along.
Yeah, the staff is always here for us. That's great. Quite good. Now, I had a move in the seconder. We've had some, sorry.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, if it's okay, I was just probably going to make a comment, and probably for our newer councillors, if the director doesn't mind. And sometimes the September quarter, our figures, I always think there always looks like there's an operating surplus, because typically what happens in the first quarter, our ratepayers tend to pay their rates for the year. And so the figures are almost skewed for that September quarter of looking a healthier bottom line than over time our expenses actually catch up as the year proceeds. But that's just something that, to keep in mind, as much as everything needs monitoring. It's just, I find that September one can appear to be a bit skewed and not probably paint the true picture of where the projected year, not as in line as the projected year actually eventuates.
Thank you, Councillor Rice, for your insight. Councillor Nardi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to ask a question, which I'm not sure who it would be directed at, because it was prior to Avi actually being here as the Director of Corporate. But on page 269 of the agenda, just in the table there, we've got the additive of the showground grandstand. Just wanting to ask a question in regards to that, because we haven't discussed this in a while. In previous council times, Mayor Madam had put in that we received this grant application for this showground grandstand, and off my recollection, I thought it was a $200,000 grant. Did that go over budget, or was there extra work as to why we now have a loan rate still going with a balance owing there from that, and what year was that in? If I could have some clarification, please.
Through Mr. Mayor, happy to take that question on notice, because it'll have to go back and dig around to get dates and all the rest.
Yeah.
But we most definitely took a loan out for that. But that project came in under budget or on budget.
Yeah,
there was no budget issues. It wasn't a council helped project manage it, but it's not a council budget. It's done on the showground. It's their asset. But it was a facility that we felt was for the greater community good. a grant was ascertained, but council also put in a contribution.
Yeah, we'll have that on notice, with a bit
Yeah.
more information. Thank you, that would be great.
Thank you, councillor.
If I may, Mr Mayor,
Sorry, councillor.
the grant that we received from the federal government was 500,000. If that's of any help to anyone.
Sorry,
Thank you.
can you hear me okay, councillor Kidd?
Yep.
Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Just off memory, was that the sports grant that was available at the time and they wanted it for the large projects?
No, it was from memory. It was coming up to the previous federal election, and one party had promised 500, the other 495, and that's where that money came from. The other money was shifted out of, and Councillor Weston, you might be better than me on this, and this should be left to the accountants probably, but that was money that was redirected from Main Street work from memory.
I believe so, but
we shuffled the grant around.
Yeah, we might see that with the staff and come back with a proper, rather than circumstance. All right. Good. Look, any more? Sorry about not catching everybody's sight. So we've had a move in a second there. We've had some discussion. Everybody sees the recommendation in front of them. Can I put the motion? All in favour? Those against? Thank you very much. All right, now we're moving on to the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee on page 270. And I'd like to have a mover and a seconder of that recommendation in front of us. Moved by Councillor Tynan, Councillor Kidd. Councillor Kidd in Singapore, that right? Councillor Kidd? Nice weather up there. All right, we're going to move a second.
Say again, Mr Mayor.
I digress.
Say again, please, Mr Mayor.
I'm just saying that you second the motion from Singapore. Thank you very much. So,
rather a long distance motion, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Wait a second, we've done that.
It's the longest motion I've seen.
Thank you, Councillor. Any discussion on that recommendation before you? Councillor Morris?
Sorry, thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, just being a previous voting member on that for the length of the committee and the time that we council formed that committee, I'd like to just thank personally. I was away and missed that meeting, but our chair, Mr Graham Bradley, who chaired it and has done a wonderful job. He came with a wealth of experience, and we were very privileged to have him that took on our job as chair of our ARIC committee, because there was a lot of councils in New South Wales that were chasing his services, having been a auditor, a local government auditor, his working life. So he did he understood Leeton Shire very well. He was very not afraid to point out where we needed to look, and had a good hold, a good hold on our financial affairs. He did a lot of work, which has led to us having a qualified opinion now on our financials, after a couple of years of unqualified opinions from our auditors, and that's to do with the Red Fleet and the fire service. So he had a unwavering view, and he took on the audit office, and I would say to him that's definitely a win that he had for all councils, local government councillors in councils in New South Wales, and certainly to us. And one day, I guess all councillors might get to understand the magnitude of that fight and potentially what it could have, the impact it could have had on our financials if we had to take on all that fleet and assets and have them for repairs and maintenance and depreciation with no money coming down from state government. So I do thank Graham Bradley. He will be missed for his wonderful work and understanding of our Shire. However, we do have a very experienced Kerry Phillips coming into the taking the new role on, and we welcome her and wish her the same good wishes with her work now in looking after our Shire.
Here, here.
So thank you.
Thank you, councillor Morris. I've had a move and a second. Is there any more discussion? There being no further discussion, I'd like to put the motion. All in favour, aye. Against, carried. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next part.
I just ask, the general manager might be able to confirm, and I'm sure on behalf of council, we did formally thank Mr. Bradley and with a letter of appreciation, some such.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Bradley was on the video at the last council meeting and the mayor thanked him personally. We haven't yet followed it up with a written letter, but it's our intent. He only just resigned from Eric. Was it last week? Last week.
Yeah, no, yes, thank you. As long as it's noted and.
We're happy to do that.
Yeah, we're happy to do that. That's great. It's been great ally for us, fighting for us. Well, thank you very much. All right, councillors, we might move on to the next item, economy and community development. Item 8.3.1, that's on page 282. So regional drought resistant plan. Can I call for a move and a seconder, please? Councillor Nardi, Councillor Kidd. Councillor Nardi moved it, Councillor Kidd seconded. Any discussion, any questions in regard to this? There being no further discussion, I will put the motion or yes. With that.
You're right, I'm just sorry, I'm just trying to check my notes because this app is a lot slower than the other one.
All right, I'll slow it for you.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, all good, thank you.
All right, we might move on to now heritage grants, which is on page 342.
Do I just-
A few minutes to get
Mr.
it
Mayor,
up.
Councillor Edwards has declared a conflict of interest.
So do I get up and?
Are you on heritage or on community strength? Councillor Edwards?
Is this heritage?
Program,
Okay,
right.
good. All right.
Yep. Sorry,
That's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
it's marvellous.
Yeah.
What page are we on, guys?
342.
342.
Thank you.
Right, everybody's up to speed. Sue,
Mr. Mayor,
General Manager.
I would suggest that you only do the showground first and then Councillor Edwards back and do all the rest.
I don't need to move a second for that. I'll just proceed on that. I moved by Councillor Nardi, second by Councillor Maiden, that we'll do the grants. Come back to the last one for the show grant.
The other way, because we left do
He's
the
already gone.
showground
All right,
first
all right.
and then do the
Well,
rest. Yeah,
All right, well, might bring Councillor Edwards back in again then.
no, if you do all the rest,
Yeah.
then you do,
I was right, but that's okay.
sorry, you do the showground first and then do all the rest.
All right, sorry, everybody. We're going to do the showground first, so can we have some discussion on the showground? We might move them separate, is that right?
Yes.
So we move and second the showground grant. Got a mover?
So I think Councillor Nardi, you moved
Nardi.
it.
Yeah, I moved it the whole, I moved it as a whole.
Yeah, she moved it the whole. I need an individual on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we do
So
Councillor,
we'll remove the
right?
whole one then because we're not doing the whole.
I believe Councillor Nardi and Councillor Maiden did the whole lot.
Sorry, I thought we were just moving,
Yeah. Would it be okay if Councillor Nardi and Councillor Maiden, when they moved their motion, left off that particular one? And now we can discuss show grant.
Yeah.
I need to move in a second for the show grant. Moved by Councillor Nardi, second by Councillor. Right, we're going to discuss the show grant money now. There's any discussion?
I'm happy to speak if you like, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So I was at the meeting that day I'm on the community strengthening grants meeting. We had quite a few apply for this first round.
The heritage grant.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
342.
Sorry, my apologies.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's okay, Councillor. It's in regards to the grant itself. You feel comfortable? Do you want to talk on that? Are you happy?
You can, anyone's happy. to-
All right, good.
Sorry.
All right, so we're having a discussion on the heritage grant, particularly in regards to the show grant. Any discussion? Councillor Tiffin.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, just a question for my learning. A water tank and its relationship to heritage. Or is it because it's at the showground and it's one of the old buildings or?
In the preamble, it's in front of us, the preamble,
Through Mr. Mayor. In the section on the showground, it says the provision of the water tank at the building, although not a restoration project in itself, it's important because of the arts and crafts pavilion. It will ensure that there's no further deterioration. So the water tanks are not the heritage item. It's by fixing them, the arts and crafts pavilion doesn't deteriorate further. That's the logic of the recommendation from this committee.
that's on page 344, the preamble. Councillor Tiffin, you happy with that explanation?
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
If I may add to that, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
If I may add to that, Mr. Mayor, that's all about the maintaining structural integrity of the building. The moisture build-up was damaging the some of the wooden structures from memory around the base of that building, and it was felt that we could prolong the life of the building and that particular heritage item by keeping that water away from the base of the building.
Yeah, and we love that building, so that sounds.
Thank you, Councillor Kidd. Yeah, Councillor Kidd.
We do.
Councillor Kidd is on that committee, by the way, for that. So thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
So
Mr. Mayor.
we've had a discussion about the showground. Any more questions before we put the motion? No? All right, and there being no further discussion, we're voting on just the showground. All aye? All in favour? All right, all against? Good, thank you very much. Good. Now we're going to move on to the other items. If we get Councillor Edwards.
Mr. Mayor, Terry is way ahead of you.
Thinking about it, councillors, are you happy to deal with all of them in toto now? Yeah.
Unless anybody has any questions.
The heritage?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So we had a move in a second now to start off with. Yeah.
This is probably something of my ignorance, but when I looked at the local heritage stuff, it had to be in a certain small area of Leeton.
It's Councillor Edwards, by the way, it's Councillor Wright.
Oh, sorry.
Wrong councillor.
Right. Councillor Tyler's asked a question about
This is just for my.
the background of the heritage grants.
When I've looked at it, it's for a very precise area around town. Is that correct?
I might just,
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, it's not correct. It doesn't have to be limited to town only. It's for any item that's listed in our LEP. But we also open it up to any item that our heritage advisor thinks is of heritage significance. So it isn't a geographic footprint. I don't know if Councillor Kidd, you were at the meeting. Was there anything specific around the location?
It did come up, but it is an item within Leeton Shire, so it therefore meets the criteria. Councillor Tynan might be getting mixed up with the fact that there's, what is it, a DCP heritage area in the main part of town, but heritage items for this particular these particular grant funds are not limited to the DCP heritage area. They are for any heritage building within the Shire, or heritage structure within the Shire, more correctly. Thank you.
yeah, I also believe that's true. We go as far as Whitton and Yanko with certain heritage items. That's right. Is that okay, Councillor Tyler? Good, thank you. All right, now we're any more discussion on those items under heritage that we're talking about? Any clarification questions? If not, there's no more discussion. I'd like to put the motion forward. Those and aye. Those against? Thank you. Now, the next item, we'll do a little bit of shuffling here. Community Strengthened Grant. We start on page 366. We've got a number of items. So, we've got Yanko Swimming Club, got the Leeton Golf Club, we've got the Connecticut River Association, Support Services, Leeton Rainbow Pride. So there's a bit of help here.
Mr. Mayor, may I suggest that we deal with Rotary first as a separate item so that you and I can leave and come back for the rest?
Yeah, good.
Through Mr. Mayor, you could do it that way, or otherwise you could do what we should have done with the last one and do everything that's not conflicted first, and then people can come and
Oh,
go
right.
for the others.
We might take the advice.
So the ones that I'm hearing councillors wish to have excluded is the Rotary Club of Leeton, the Leeton Rainbow Pride Collective, and then the Creative Connection would be councillor Kidd. So if we exclude those three, but for the first round of discussion, talk about Currajong, Niranara, Leeton Golf Club, and Leeton Yanko Swimming Club.
So that clarified, we're going to talk about the item. So could I have, councillor Edward, you're okay, councillor Edward?
No, I don't have any conflicts.
So we're going to discuss those items. Can we move in a second for those items? Moved by councillor Nardi, second by councillor Mason. We're discussing those particular items. Any questions of those particular line items? Yes, councillor Tina.
Just as general, in the previous section, there were presented a whole lot of decision matrices. Heritage ones. For this section, there are no decision matrices, even though they are noted as being a part of the conditions. I'm just wondering in the future, would such decision matrices be included in the sake of transparency?
Through Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Yes, we could pass that on to the committee.
In the early days, we
Fine.
should be doing that for you.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand. True. Councillor Nardi.
If you're happy for me to speak, sorry, I'm happy to speak.
Yes, please, councillor Nardi. Councillor Nardi, you chaired that particular committee.
Correct, yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just on behalf of everyone who obviously isn't aware of that meeting, because there's only just a couple of us representatives on there. So basically, every year we try to have everybody understand the application process. And Maddie Klein, she used to be, is now at that committee. And we do have a few people who don't make the application process with a few issues, but we did go back to the majority of them to try and give them a deadline to get what they need so that we can approve them to get the money that is available there. And I'd just like to speak on the Leeton Golf Club, which if you've noted on page 367, it says to be decided by the council. So the report will be coming in to you guys today on behalf of the Leeton Golf Club being no longer incorporated. So what we'll be doing moving forward with accepting this for the help in the long run, we want to have some clarity around, what we're to do as a council with them applying in the future, because we believe that depending on our guidelines moving forward, how are they going to apply for any further grants if they no longer incorporated? Thank you.
Thank you, General Manager.
Thank you. Just to build on that, Mr. Mayor, in the report to council, it's being recommended that the guidelines get updated to replace the word incorporated societies to not-for-profit constituted entities, and whether they're incorporated society or a trust or a company, as long as their objects are not for profit, they should be able to be eligible.
Thank you, General Manager. I must apologise. I should have told you we discussed in point 1 and point 2 a recommendation. Point 2 is the authorisation General Manager with clarification from Councillor Nardi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you also to the General Manager, because I think it's highly important, because the Golf Club moving forward, we are helping them with an assistant grant for their car park, and they will be providing a service and a business and future updates for the community moving forward with their golf club. And I think that if those guidelines were adjusted to suit those, we would have more people apply for the community strengthening grants in the future that also are in the same position.
Thank you, Councillor Nardi. Is there any question or clarification of that particular? No? All right, we're going to move those items that we discussed in point 1 and point 2. I've had a move in the seconder. Any no more further discussion? I'd like a motion. In favour? Aye. Those against? Great. All right, who will go first?
So, Mr. Mayor, I suggest you do the Creative Connection one next.
Right.
And so, Councillor Kidd, can you just block your ears.
Go for a walk around Singapore, my friend. All right, we're going to discuss that particular line item. A mover and a seconder, sorry, mover for that. Councillor Wright, seconded by Councillor Mason. Any discussion about that item? No clarification from Councillor Lardy?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward.
Any further discussion? No further discussion. I'd like to motion forward that one. Or an aye? Or in favour? Against, thank you very much. All right, Councillor Kidd, you can come out from out of the cold, out of the heat. Right, you're in, and I'll just have to vacate the chair to.
No, Rainbow Pride next.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I apologise.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I have a less than significant conflict, so I won't be voting, but I will stay for the discussion if that's okay with you.
All right, good. Could I have a move and a second, please, for the Rainbow Pride, moved by Councillor Morris, seconded by Councillor Mason. Any clarification, questions? That Councillor Mason, we got a question.
Oh, just a question. It's to cover the costs for the aerial artist to perform at the fair day. Is that scheduled for sometime soon or?
I believe you can.
Yeah.
I think you've got.
It come not in the discussion on whether to fund them, but if you want to give the date, I think that would be fine.
Just answering a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's part of the Pride Festival for March.
Yep.
Yep. It's like the 2023 one, it was the Saturday when everyone's in the park with all the stalls, the daytime kind of family friendly kind of thing.
Okay.
Yep, so we have drag acts that are a bit more,
Councillor,
more adult.
so you've declared them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It's all right. I was just kind of understanding, was it a separate event to that event in March, but it sounds like it's a
Clarification.
It's just-
Clarification, you got the clarification.
Sorry, through the chair, just from that meeting, I actually think that was for the October long weekend, that event there, wasn't it?
I think so. Thank you. So we're discussing the Rainbow Pride line item. So we've had any more discussion, any clarification?
I just want to have clarification around grants and applying for grants in general. Are we able to, I see that in the eligibility guidelines within the community grants program guidelines, sorry, under eligibility, it says here, demonstrate clear benefits for the community in line with the community strategic plan. Oh, sorry. It says in the eligibility 3.1 in the community guideline, grants program guidelines, it says in regards to eligibility that it needs to demonstrate clear benefits for the community in line with the community strategic plan. Do those come to council? Are we able to see those? Or is that something that these community organisations fill in, send to us? Because personally, sometimes I think that maybe it's not going to be beneficial to the community, Trapeze Act, but I just want clarification around that.
The criteria, Councillor.
Criteria, yeah.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, the eligible, I'm not sort of a whiz on every last bit of detail, but certainly the staff would have vetted this application for eligibility. Then we have a committee that meets to talk about it and its eligibility. So it's really coming to council for verification. So if you're questioning just eligibility, it said it had to demonstrate clear benefits for the community. Is that the one you've raised?
Well, just eligibility in general. If it's coming to us to verify, are we actually agreeing to the grant?
So the committee are recommending that it's eligible and that it meets the requirements.
But then
Just from the mayor, thank you. First of all, your question?
I think for future things like this, that we should also be seeing the eligibility and why these organisations believe so. Like, I'm going to vote on it,
A few words.
assign money.
So you're more than welcome to come to any of the community grants meetings because the team that we have there do their due diligence to make sure that these grants do apply within those eligibility statuses and everything that's in the guidelines.
For you, Mr. Mayor, to whoever can answer.
Yep.
Are those committee reports actually published publicly to us, or is it through the agenda that we see those? And in regards to eligibility and other criteria like the declaration forms, is that also published publicly, or is
Mr. Mayor,
clarify?
Mr. Mayor, I'm very happy to make those all publicly available. So it's not in this particular agenda, but we could definitely make them publicly available. We'll circulate them to you and put them on the website.
Thank you.
And we'll make sure that at future meetings that the full applications come to council. I think the view was that because it's gone through a committee that's looked at all the details, it could maybe come to you in a reduced form, but if you prefer the whole lot, we'll send you the whole lot. That'll be fine.
Well, yeah.
Okay, councillor Cliff. There's money from the community, we give to the community, we ask people to come forward. Sometimes we get nobody, sometimes we get a lot of people.
Yeah.
It goes to a committee with councillors on and staff, they go through. There is a criteria, if you see accompanying the and it gets down to much as possible with judgment, but also certain criteria are ticked and then they're prioritised. And like I say, sometimes we get a lot of people, sometimes we don't. Yeah.
So through there, there's the decision matrix is all that needs to be in these reports.
Yeah, decision matrix. I think that's what.
That's fine.
Just a point of clarification, I thought these are the ones in here, not these, all the clarifications.
Let's see.
I think that's the heritage one we're looking at.
Right, yeah.
And so councillor Tyne is asking for a similar thing
Yeah.
for this other
Yeah.
committee.
Well, that's right, we got those, haven't we?
We can definitely
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, and also I know the staff has asked people to come forward and spend time with the staff to fill out the forms. But what happens, councillor Nani, maybe I'm stealing your thunder. Maybe you can clarify how people come forward with their applications, but they're not very well done. A little last minute.
Yeah, like I'm happy to chat on that. So basically the process that you see with the Heritage grant application in that paperwork is exactly the same process that we go through. But in the 8 years that I've been on council, we've never actually just put that process in there. And I think it's purely because sometimes the report generally just gives enough information that we've already, it's just a matter of being voted on from the documents that's come from the committee above.
Okay.
But you could definitely clarify and get some information if you need to. Generally, like I said earlier, a lot of the people don't always give us the correct information that they need. So then we go back because we want them to fill that criteria so that they can make the deadline.
Yep.
And unfortunately, because of the time frame, that deadline, the meeting was on the Wednesday and the deadline had to be the following Thursday so that it was ready for the council papers to be put through.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Councillor Edwards, okay?
And something missed Councillor Nardi, because I did sit on that committee for a lot of years also. There's also an acquittal process. So even though the council has endorsed funds to be allocated, they have a time period to use their funds and to give a report back to the committee of how they've used it, and it may include photographs or some kind of proof of what's occurred. And occasionally we will have someone come to a workshop or a council meeting and actually and give us that acquittal and how they use the funds, which we as part of the committee they're always invited. Yeah. So the other councillors can understand where they've used them more fully.
Thank you, and thank you for the question, Councillor Edwards. We forget sometimes new councillors come on board and we sort of rush through our normal thing, you know, but thank you for bringing to our attention. Now, the next item.
You need.
Can I just, sorry, I've had my hand up.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say it yet, sorry.
I know, it's my fault for not being in the room, sorry.
No, I should be keeping an eye on you, sorry.
That's all right, me and Michael are just, no. I think just two things. I just want to formally apologise to everyone because I missed the Community Grants Committee meeting. I'm sorry, Sandra. But but hopefully my calendar will be better organised from now on. And the other thing is that my understanding about community benefit, I think Councillor Edwards is very. Sorry. Yeah, it's the responsibility of the committee to have a very neutral and open-minded and sort of, encouraging view of what benefit to the community is, recognising the diversity of the community. That's my understanding of it, and I think that's a really important part of the process.
Thank you, Councillor Tiffin. Just to note, some of these meetings that I have attended with the previous councillor, Councillor Smith, one of these meetings we had 14 applicants, and Councillor Smith and I sat in that meeting with the elected council staff member for 3 hours going back and forth. So it's not a matter of we just tick. We do deliberate quite well, and I think it's great because we give that option for the community to benefit from these strengthening grants, and I think it's amazing. So
yeah, it is, and and you're helping people. You set them up for success by helping them do their applications properly, and
Thank you, Councillor Tiffin. Did I miss Councillor Kidd's hand? No. All right.
But I totally agree with Councillor Tiffin on that. As long as they meet the criteria, it's not really our line to judge. Providing they meet the criteria, it's not our line to judge whether anyone would be interested in their project, personally.
Through the Mayor, can we move on with this, please?
Yeah, I think Councillor Edgar had your hand, Councillor.
No, it's all good.
Oh, good.
You
All
can
right.
do
So
procedural motions. You can do procedural motion here and ask
okay.
for the motion to be put.
we just clarify the question for Councillor Edwards. I'd like to know a bit more about the procedure. So we had to move in a second now. I've got to put that motion for the gay pride. All in favour?
Yes,
Yes.
sorry.
Because the next item that I'm involved with, and Councillor Edwards. Oh, sorry, you got your hand up, Councillor Kidd?
I think he was.
Look, I'm going to vacate the chair. I'm going to give the chair to the next senior in length of time will be Councillor Morris. Could you come up and run this, please?
Yeah. You do. So it's the Rotary Club of Leeton. Thank you. Now that our mayor has had to leave the chamber, because he's declared his interest, we will now vote on the Rotary Club of Leeton Incorporated, and their request is for $2,000. I need a separate mover and seconder, please. Councillor Tynan and Councillor Mason. Now, does anyone have any questions or any comments to make? I think
It's wonderful use of this resource.
yes, thank you. I think it's something that would be used for all the community and available in a very open area for many to use. So if everyone's happy to take the vote, all in favour? I think that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we can get the mayor back into reconvene the meeting. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, myself, thank you very much, councillors. Moving on to the next item, I'm going to find my page. We've done the strengthening grants, then we're moving on to the minutes of the Whitland Courthouse, which is on page 384. It's the Historical Museum, Whitland Courthouse and Historical Museum Committee. Can I have a move in a seconder, please? Move Councillor Kidd, second by Councillor Tiffin, sorry. Moved by Councillor Kidd, second by Councillor. Any discussion in regard to the Whitland Courthouse from Museum Committee. I take it we have no more discussion on that part. Rightio.
I was,
There'll be no further-
sorry, Mr. Mayor, I did want to.
Yeah, oh, sorry, done it again.
No, that's all right. Where do you see us when you're in the room and we're on?
You have to talk, when you talk, you come to the front, but when you don't talk, you're at the top.
On the screen behind you or up somewhere else?
In front of me.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay. Correct me if it's relevant. It's just when we were being briefed the other night about the arts and cultural facilities, there was some discussion about, you know, there's obviously issues with the Whitton Museum and the finances. And I just wanted to put it on the record that I think given Whitton is the oldest town, you know, in our district, and lots of children have benefited from going to the museum, even if it is falling apart a little bit, I strongly would want us to find a way to keep it viable. And, you know, I don't know how we do that, but I just think it's very important that we don't let the smaller, you know, all the jewels in the crown of the smaller towns around us die off, even though it's a battle and it's all about money.
Thank you, Councillor Tiffin. So the recommendations in front of you in regard to the information from the minutes. I had a move in a seconder. Any more discussion? And also, I'm wearing glasses, and you wouldn't believe the top of the glasses just cut you all off from the screen. For some reason. Yeah. All right, so there's no more discussion in regard to this report. I'd like to put the motion. Favour? Aye. Those against? Yeah. Thank you very much. Moving on to notice of motions, we have none. Confidential matters, we have none. Council activity reports. Since there's no notice of motion of confidential matters, we will move on to council activity reports. So I'll move around the table and Councillor Morris.
No, I have, Mr. Mayor, I've been fortunate and I've had a leave of absence for a few weeks, so I have missed some of the activities. But since back, I've been to everyone that I need to be at, and have an important one coming up on Thursday in Murray-Darling association with our Region 9. So that'll be interesting with our water. Thank you.
Just a bit of clarification, General Manager, to help with this clarification. This is not a normal thing which happens in committee meetings, but we've done it for quite a long time. We just have a quick what we've done on behalf of council for the last month. We don't need to go right into the nitty-gritty, but just to give us an idea what goes on. So Councillor Edwards, you're the next one.
Yes, I'd like to report that on the 20th of October, I did attend the councillors. Sorry, I'm in the wrong thing now. Councillors to Leeton Shire Council operational facilities, and on the 2nd and 3rd of November, I attended the formal council induction training or local learning over 2 days. I can't remember what date I attended it, but I did attend the Yanco Town Improvement Committee. Just can't remember which date on the top of my head. And I was looking at my calendar as I was speaking. And on the 26th of November, I attended the Leeton Shire Joint Airport Committee.
Oh, well done. Thank you, Councillor.
The General Manager was very productive, actually. So yes.
Councillor Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I've included all of my activities in the report already, although I have to make a correction. I did not attend the Country University Centre Multicultural Outreach Night, and I did attend the Transgender Day of Remembrance on behalf of the Mayor on Saturday. I've also attended every focus group for the community strategic plan so far.
Well done, thank you, Councillor Wright. I'll go to the screen. Councillor Kidd, you're first, and Councillor Tiffin second. Councillor Kidd, what are you doing in Upper Shire, my friend?
As listed in the report, Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything particularly to add, but we did do some very good networking with two ministers there, one on behalf of health services and the other on behalf of rural roads. And I thank the relevant council staff for their support there as well, and the general manager. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tiffin.
Thank you very much. I feels like, do you keep a little book of who gets the most gold stars each time?
No, we don't. We always thought it might be just great for the community to understand that we have gone out and seen and done things, and also we might be back information.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. And for my part, I've been to as much of the training as I have been able. I've been to the Roxy Redevelopment Committee meeting, which was very enlightening, and had sort of follow-on discussions as a result of that. I feel like I've been doing more of the informal stuff so far, because I've had a lot of conversations with people out in the world. I turned up for the community grants meeting at the wrong time and then didn't turn up at the right time, but I'll get better at that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, I have to go and give prizes at this little schools the week after next. So I guess that's not this month's report, but I'm looking forward to, I suggested that they'd be more interested in you being there, George, with all your gold bling on. But Mel said, no, you're happy to let the rest of us go and do some of that stuff. So yeah, there'll be things, there's more things coming up as I get into the swing of it, I guess.
Just answer to another question about representing myself. Like I said, I'm first amongst equals, and we're all here doing a great job for the community. So I'd like to think we can share the load in that area. Not load, wrong word, load, but
yeah, no, of course.
The enjoyment. Councillor Maiden.
Yeah, I didn't get mine in, but I guess just to add pretty much to what everyone else has done, the tour of the operational facilities on the 20th of October, attended the Youth Council meeting on the 28th of October, and then attended the Saturday of the induction training with local learning. I guess further to that, I attended, I think, most, if not all, of the Leeton Alive events, which I think were really great. The funding that we got for that, it was really good to see the community engaged in the activation, particularly of Chelmsford Place with the 2 outdoor movie nights. I didn't get to the band spectacular, but I did go to the Wade Street party, and yeah, it's really nice to see people enjoying that space. That's all for me.
Thank you, Councillor Tyne.
A smattering of all of those, but more on the less side. I've had a horribly busy month of November for school and family parties and all sorts of things. The one big thing I did get to go to, which I was begrudging at first, the conference, it turned out very surprisingly good value. I was saying to Silas before, the sensibility of the motions put forward by councils was so staggering, in the sense that why does the state government need to be told these things? And we talked about Wagga Council. I consider them now a bit of a
out of the camp. Thank you very much.
That is their mentality there, but it's clear that there are cities that have certain priorities. Coastal people have certain priorities. Country has certain priorities, and the government doesn't really seem to be getting any of those priorities. It's right.
Thank you, Councillor Tyne. Yes, we had a nice breakfast together as well. It's very good. It was a very good weekend. Councillor Nardi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also have put in my list of above. The only one I accidentally missed out was the Youth Council, which is on the 28th of October. But I did miss the Roxy Redevelopment Committee meeting, and that was purely because I was at an AGM for the Leeton United Football Club, which clashed at the same time. But I'm happy with what I put in. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nardi. You see, mine have been pretty busy. I've seen this happen before, but I'm part of it now. It was quite congested, but I must concur about the conference. It's a pity where only can take the manager, the deputy mayor and the mayor, but it's great if we can get all the councillors there. Once upon a time, we did have a country meeting at Albury. Get more councillors going on there, you know. But traditionally, I think next one's going to be in Penrith. Some councillors take all 9 councillors, you know. It is beneficial, but it comes down to dollars and cents, I suppose, and what we can get back, you know. But we had some good guest speakers, and we had some difference of opinion. But you did right, Councillor Tyne. There's 2 worlds out there sometimes. People don't realise what we do out here. You know? And also we had Ramjo, which was interesting. We had a lot. Oh, I'll just go back to the conference. Our motions all got up, all of them. We had a bit of a debate about the one about the buybacks, so that was great. That was good. And I believe there was in New South Wales, there's 40 new mayors, I believe. Big turnover. So we just got to recongregate, get back together and start pushing the barrel in the right direction for us in the bush to get stuff done. And if anyone wants to have a chat to me about any of these, I can certainly expand on. But we're out there doing our bit, trying to get our message across, keep our water coming down, getting people to come to our town and looking after the palm people. So thank you. Any questions of me? Of that? No? Good. Thank you very much. All right, we might move on to the conclusion of the meeting. General Manager. Yeah, thank you, council and staff, for your contribution to the productive November Ordinary Council meeting. As there's no further business, I now declare the meeting closed at 8:09. That's quick. I must thank all the